Welcome, friends, back to the brickitect studio. As always, I hope you guys are having a glorious day today. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some things that I built recently, along with some things that Clarkman has built as well, because he's becoming quite the builder too. You guys probably already know, if you've been around for a while, that I'm not a huge fan of doing reviews or even watching reviews, but I do like to share the things that I build because I feel like that is a part of my Lego collecting journey. And I also like to give you my opinion on them if you're on the fence about buying them, or if you're just generally curious to what I think. This is going to be the video for you, I suppose. We're going to kick this off with the dude that's staring you in the face right now. Whether that's a good or bad thing, we'll talk about it. This, of course, is Lego Star Wars set 75255 Yoda. And this took me a while to build, not because it was a difficult build. Actually, it kind of was. It took all of my concentration to build this. I am far from being a good Lego builder. Every time I finished a bag with this, it seemed like I had a couple pieces left over, especially when you're getting into this stuff right here, which is his coat or his cloak or whatever he's wearing here. That part of the build was like, it was intense, trying to get this all right. And then you're like, where does this 1x2 go? And you're looking through the steps to see what step it had in there. And then you find it and have to piece it in there. It took a lot of concentration. As you can see, this is definitely a difficult set, being that it is 10 and up. Even though I struggle with this, it was really fun to see it come together. You start out with what basically is a rectangular Technic frame, and then everything goes on it, almost like BB-8, where like the sides go on, the front goes on, and you start working your way up to the point where you get to his head. And that was the part that took me the longest, not the build time. It seemed like I started the head, and then like a couple days went by and I didn't build anything. And this thing was sitting on the dining room table, of course. So I was worried about Mrs. Brickitect and her thoughts on it. But finally, last night, I got this guy done, and I was thinking that it would be really creepy. Like, as soon as I saw this thing for sale, you can see from the box there, you kind of knew what you're getting yourself into when you bought this. And I was like, dude, those eyes are creepy. I don't know if I can handle this. But when I got it done, a part of me kind of fell in love with little Yoda here. Like, it's something about him. Like, one second he looks creepy, and the next second he's cute. And I'm kind of leaning towards cute. I was thinking this is going to be my creepiest Lego set that I own, but it may be the cutest. And it all depends on how you have his eyes. Got to move these things around a little bit, but you can have him look evil. And I don't know if I like him like that. I kind of like him with kind of expressionlessness. Like he's just kind of like at zen with himself. You guys can't see the entire lightsaber, but it goes up, and Clarkman was the builder of that. He was waiting the entire time to build that lightsaber, and that came in bag 13, which is the last bag. But this thing looks really good, especially if you like studs. This is maybe my biggest complaint about it, is like, it's just stud city all over the outside of this. I would love them to like smooth that out. Maybe there'll be a rendition of this in the future where this is just like completely flat and smooth, almost like what they did with the Volkswagen Beetle. If you guys remember back to the first blue Volkswagen Beetle and what that thing looked like, and then when they did the new one that I really love and is like my favorite Crater vehicle, I really love to do that with Yoda, but I am happy with this model. Speaking of this model, here is the extra little thing that came with it. Only sticker in the entire bag is right here. Also, no folded manuals, so I was in heaven with this set. You've got yourself a little Yoda there, which Clark was excited to build too. Also, in the very last bag, so he kind of sat this one out for the most part. I'm excited to have this on display because I just think he looks fantastic. I think there's people that are probably on the fence with this. You might think this thing is like the worst thing you've ever seen. You might think it's really awesome. I'm definitely leaning towards really awesome. His hands, I don't think I showed them very well. Let's kind of get the zoom in on here. His hands look a little, I don't know, kind of reminds me of the Terminator a little bit. If you guys have seen Terminator 2, you probably relate. It looks like he has a skeleton hand, but it is Yoda. He has claws on there too. You can't really see them, but you can move his hands around a little bit and move those out. He doesn't really pose at all other than the pose that he's in. His head is kind of on a bobblehead a little bit, if you want to call it that. Like, he can move his head around. It's makes me a little nervous to do that, but you can turn him a little bit, and it's kind of like one of these things. Now it's getting creepy. I'll admit, it's getting a little creepy now, but if he's just sitting there like that, I think I could keep him in here without, scaring anybody. I think he works out okay. And being that I was building Yoda, I told you I built some other stuff too. Well, I built one other thing. Here's what I built to go along with Yoda. I felt like it was an appropriate time to do this. We got ourselves a Chewbacca. This, of course, is Lego Star Wars set 75530, titled Chewbacca. I've had this in the backlog for a while. I forget who sent this to me. My system failed me because I didn't have a Post-it note on here. But if you sent this to me, I want to thank you for that, because I think these guys look good together. The scaling is way off. It would be fascinating if Lego were to make, like, if this is 2 foot tall Yoda or 3 feet tall, whatever height he is. I'm sure Star Wars detectors are like, he's exactly 2 feet 6 inches tall, Greg. You're such an idiot. I'd love to see them make a Chewbacca scaled version of this. Can you imagine like 8 feet tall Chewbacca? How awesome that would be. It'd be a lot of pieces. People would be very upset about the price. But speaking of price, if you guys didn't know, this Yoda set was only $100. 1,700 pieces, almost 1,800 pieces for $100. Star Wars sets are so affordable these days. And I also got a free promo with that. Chewbacca, I think, looks nice with him. This definitely wasn't my favorite build. These buildable figures, I'm kind of on the fence with these. Like, I've made some that I've really loved. This one, I don't know. Maybe I'm falling out of love with these things because they're kind of janky. Let's just be honest. They're janky, and he doesn't move that well. I do like the crossbow as he kicks Yoda in the background. Yeah! Can you imagine I knock that over and he just breaks? But yeah, the crossbow is pretty awesome, and I think that looks cool. But those are the two things that I built. You saw Clarkman's Star Wars sets. He built a couple himself, but he also built a few other things too. While I was working on Yoda, Clarky went ahead and built this. This is Geoffrey the Giraffe. Let me see if we can get the zoom in there. Maybe a little bit too close, but there is Geoffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. R.I.P. Toys R Us. We're going to miss you. Even though the prices were high, I do miss taking Clarkman to an actual toy store and exploring it and having that experience. And I would actually pay more for that experience now. It's one of those things, I think this is a lesson in life. You never really appreciate things until it's no longer there. And that's how I feel about Toys R Us. I would happily pay their somewhat inflated prices to experience that store again and have those memories. But Geoffrey here, we need to talk about him. If you don't like stickers, I would highly avoid this set if I were you. Oh, I just noticed his mouth opens. Again, Clarkman built this whole thing by himself. Other than the stickers, I put those on. And we got a sticker. He's like completely tatted up. He's like in the Star Gang because he's got 2 stickers on this side. He's got 2 stickers on that side. Look at his back. He's got a full body tats of just stars here. You can stand him up. Clarky saw this in the backlog and he was like, he wanted to build it. And I thought, how great would that be to show off Yoda along with this, because it's debatable how creepy they are. I might do a poll, which is creepier, Yoda or Geoffrey or Chewbacca? I don't think Chewbacca is the creepiest. He's probably most janky. I would say build-wise, obviously, Yoda is the best, but this probably comes in second, in front of Chewbacca, actually, because he's got these actual hinges and stuff here. Let's bring you in. Look at those hinges. How beautiful is that? If I had to build like an action figure out of Lego, this is probably how I would do it. His arms are not great because he only has one hinge there, but when you kind of create that knee hinge, that's great. You got some good articulation there, and it's good. It's good. Someone told me that I shouldn't open this set. I did like a little community post showing that I was building this, and someone told me not to open it because it's like rare or special or something like that. And my response to that, I don't know whether that's true or not. We did get this in the mail. This came from Quinn Holland. So Quinn, thank you for sending that. You're probably watching this video. My response to that was that Lego is made to be enjoyed. I don't get these sets just to stare at them. Although that's what I'll do with this. I at least want to experience it. I want to build it and then stare at it and let it collect dust forever. But if I want to rebuild it again or whatever the case is, I want to have that opportunity. I don't want to just keep it in a box. My goal isn't to die with a bunch of sealed Lego boxes. I want to die with a lot of experiences and hopefully have them shared with you. Speaking of share, I do have one other thing to share with you that Clarkman built. And it's this set right here. You might recognize this one from the backlog. This is Lego City Set 60177 Air Show Jet. And I thought this set was really cool when it came out. I know a lot of people didn't like this set. I remember when I think I showed it in the backlog or was talking about it, people were like, yeah, I don't like that. Move Geoffrey back a little bit. I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It's definitely out of scale. You look at how big the guy is. It's sitting in here if you want to see what he looks like. There he is. Clarkman built this whole thing. Again, I put the stickers on. There was a couple little mess ups with this. He did some things backwards, but I fixed them up for him and it was okay. And this again is, we have some issues here, I think. You know what happened? I'm seeing it now. Clarky did a little bit of moving around here. I think this is supposed to be like this. And I think this is supposed to be here. This is the danger of making review videos after kids have played with it, if you want to call this a review. Because things get messed up and people are like, Greg, what's going on with the stickers there? Well, that's what it's supposed to be like. I love the color scheme on this. I think it looks really great. I do like that yellow accent in there. I'm glad they put that in there. They could have probably used more yellow on this, actually. Make this almost like a Red Bull. Did you ever see those Red Bull stunt races or whatever? I almost went to one of those in my life. I wish I would have. I should have. But yeah, I think this looks really cool. So that's the other little set that Clarkman built. Clarkman is actually working on another set right now, which is the El Fuego's stunt truck. It's a hidden side set. I thought it's about time to build that. And I think my next build is going to be the Ghostbusters Ecto 1 because I want to have that built by Halloween. But I also have, why don't I just take you over and show you? I also have this to build by Halloween. This is Lego Monster Fighter set 9467, the Ghost Train. And I just love the way that looks. So that's going to be 100% my Halloween build. But up here in the backlog, if you look back there, the Ecto one. I'm gonna build that first. That's my next build. Since we're talking previews, I do have another little thing here. I can't show you the top of it because it has my address on it. But this is a haul that I got specifically for Clarkman, and I'm hopefully gonna share with him tomorrow. He's at his Yammies today. But there you go, guys. A little longer than I anticipated, but I wanted to show you what we built. And I think this is a good way of doing this. Let me know what you think of this. Do you like me just doing a showcase of all the stuff that we built and letting you know what I think? I think that's just so much better than doing like review after review. And I just covered a lot of ground in just a few minutes, it seems. So there you go. My favorite build out of all these, you can probably guess, is Yoda. And probably Clark's favorite as well. But of the two things that he built, I think I like this plane the best. Geoffrey, I'm sorry. My Star Wars display is actually looking pretty sweet these days. I'm probably going to take a couple things apart just to make room, but there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed my little showcase here, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow with yet another Lego video for you. Before you leave, if you want to see another amazing brickitect videos, stare into Yoda's eyes and select one to watch. Let's just get in here real close while you're picking. This is going to force you into making a selection because you can't stare at this eye for very long. We'll see you guys in the next video.